Well, I am at Watmore. I've popped in for about 3 hours. That's all I can afford this afternoon. Late afternoon would probably be the best here. It's very windy. A few people fishing. Wind's really annoying because I'm going to try float fishing. I'm going to be using this. You think, oh, he's going to try bread flake. Well, it's not just any old loaf this. You have to realise this is a special loaf for Uncle Graeme. This is what's called, it's half of what was called a tinned loaf, because it was baked in a tin. So the reason being, you get crust all the way around the outside. It seals all the sort of bread, nice bread in there, and you get really, really nice spongy bread. So if you were using, say, supermarket bread, which I normally do, sliced, the crust's not great for casting. Now you can't float a fish here, so let's get that straight from the outset. But you can use suspended crust off the bottom, pop it up. You can use bread flake, big pieces, small pieces, and I'm even going to make some dough with the difference, because not many people use bread dough now, which is like a standard paste bait. Yes, you can go and buy them if you want. You go and buy your own paste baits out of the tackle shops, but it's nice when you can make your own, mix your own up. So I'm not looking for a huge catch. I've got a couple of pinches of ground bait that's going to go in there. Chucked a couple in already. Haven't seen any fish move. But as I say, this is the bread. If you get the chance to get it, I've got this from a baker's. What I call proper baker's. There you go. So you can see maybe it's a lovely, doughy, squeezy, stay on the hooky type of bait. Now you can catch small fish on that, on a tiny pellet. Well, in fact, I've got like a size 14 hook on a waggle float on that rod. This one I've got size 8, I think. All barbless. On the other one, wagglers on both. The trouble is, the drag is this thing that's going to get me. Now, wait for the drink. Now, let's get clear from the outset with bread. It's got to be possibly the most best all-round bait, I think, especially on commercial waters and on rivers as well, not just still waters. But the difference being, you can do stuff with it. You can put the bread on the hook and then you can spray it with some of the different sprays and flavours you can get. You can colour it. You can put colouring. We used to do colouring years ago, not crayoning, we did that as well, but colouring. I put it into the bait, you could do that. There's a variety of things you can do, big bits, small bits. Pinch a great big piece of flake on for bigger fish, tiny pellet, especially with these tin loaf like this, a tiny pellet for small fish, maybe roach. So I'll be thinking of roach, possibly bream or tench, small ones, and then later maybe a carp, who knows. So let's get the baits out there. I've plumbed the depth in here. I know what it is, 4 or 5 feet, something like that. Not going far out, staying in the margins. Might not pick a fish up for a while, got to wait for them to come in, but let's get cracking. If you do keep bread, try and keep it in a plastic bag like this, sealed right up, either with a little tie around it, cable tie thing, or just tie a knot in it. Keep it cool if you can, in the shade, especially in the summer, down there in the shade, out of the light. The object of this, as you can see, look, the crust is all the way around the edge. So when I do want to go floater fishing, and I can't here, I've got loads of different sections of crust there that I can use. I can use crust here. It's not like crust is banned, it's floaters are banned, floating on the surface. So you can pop that up, and indeed we'll try it later on. So I'm going to try first. Here's my piece of bread. Look, I can take the tiniest piece of bread dough like that. Get my small hook. We'll see if there's any roach out there. And as small as that is, if you can see that, I just fold it around. Now, I squeeze that flat. It will be one cast wonder, and it may well drag off to the right. Now, you can't move it too much when it's out there, because it will come off. So we just let it sit like that. And I've got a shot, tiny shot, dust shot, about that far from the hook. just here, so that hopefully we'll anchor it on the bottom. This one I could get a much bigger piece of flake. What a windy day. It's a shame they gave all this wind. Now we're going to go for a big piece of flake. Let's keep it in the shade and keep it cool. So I've got a big piece of flake. I go through it so I get the point out the other side, and I just mould quite loose. You see I'm squeezing it flat, mostly tight, just around the eye there, around the eye of the hook. That wind is so annoying. Every time I go fishing I just can't get conditions right this year, so I'm leaning right behind this bush. And out we go. Down goes the flake. I tighten up and just leave it. Check your drag. Just resting across there. Okay, see how my other one's drifted in there? I might have to go to a float ledger, which is basically a running ledger but with a float at the top. We might even do that. Let's see if we can't pick a roach up first. So if you do get a bite on bread, it's either on or it's not the fish, you know, because they'll have the bait off in a flash. So you get one bite generally means if it's sitting still and you haven't struck on that fish, that means it's had the bait off. We'll see what happens with the wind there. Well, as I said, I've got a roach bite then. Hooked up, switched the camera on and it fell off. But trust me, I think I'll get another one. So here we go, nice little roach there. That was what I was losing early on the small pieces of bread flake. Tiny little pinches. So don't forget, once you've got that little pellet there of bread flake on the small hook, you get one cast out of it. And normally we would wind and sink the line, but I try not to do it too much with the bread flake like this. Well, I've got a different fish onto the roach. Not scrapping much. It's not a carp. It looks like, yeah, it's a bream. Oh, well, that's a netter. Oh, that's on that flake, you see, just in the corner there. Not a big fish. I know it's not a big fish, what we call match weights, but it's a fish. But it's a fish, and it's on the tinned bread, tin loaf. I haven't exactly got a lot of feed to throw in, to be honest. I'm just scraping the bottom of the barrel here. I think I'll put some vanilla in there as well. So I know bream do like vanilla. I didn't do that purposely, I just happened to have some vanilla left over. So now if the surface of the tin loaf here starts to dry out, I can just feel it getting a bit dry. It's more, sort of moist in the middle there. Just make sure you cover it over. Even like that, or keep it in a plastic bag. It's even better if you keep it in the plastic bag. Keep that air from it, and obviously keep it in the shade. But what you can also do, break a piece of flake off and just drop it in with your ground bait, because the moisture in the ground bait will draw back into that bread, and that'll make it a little bit easier to stay on the hook, you know, not too dry and crumbly, which is what you don't want with flake. I'll try a real small piece, look, just like that, tiny, what I call a pellet, almost a pellet of bait. They try it on the small hook. If I don't get a bite within a couple of minutes or so, I generally will try and move it. So just roll it round. I'll pinch it tight over the eye of the hook. You might be able to see it. I've covered the hook. They shouldn't be able to see it. I just hope that the pocket of wind stays off here. That's what you want for float fishing, no drag. But the wind's gone from around there, and I really should have gone on that bank, the north bank, because it's a north wind, but it was what I thought northwest. Now it's backed up, what it would do, and it's gone to north, sort of northeast, north there, and it's swirling in on me. Listen, I might pick a few more fish off yet, we're not done. Oh, I don't know what this is, it don't feel like a carp to me. Oh, it's a bream, yeah. He's wrapped up or something, yeah. He's tangled up. He's not foul hooked, I feel sure. Yeah. Oh, that's a better one, guys. Look there, that's a nice bream. Slow bite as well. There we go, a few more of these won't go amiss. If the brolly doesn't blow away there. Guys, it's all gone very, very bottoms up, as a polite word of saying. The wind's howling, it's back right round here, but I turn it this way. There's all dark clouds coming. The umbrella's disappeared. I can't really float fish in this, it's a nightmare. So I think I'm going to have to call it. I'll hang on as long as I can, I don't want to get soaked. So I might have to come back. Good excuse to come back though. Talking with Carol, let this bad stormy weather go through. I'll come back and we'll have another go at it. And the benefit is, guys, this can wrap it up in plastic, can be frozen. That came out the freezer, so you can freeze it and use it again. And actually, same with the ground bait, but it is howling. I just hit another fish as we said that. A nice bream. Wow. I've got the camera in my mouth. This is a... Oh yeah. Well, there we go. Do I hang on? Do they want the stormy weather? Actually, the bream feels really warm on my hand, so the water must still be pretty well up. That's a nice bream. I hate the wind, I can't float fish properly, but listen, the float just buried. That's a nice bream. Oh, maybe I'm going to hang on a little bit longer. It's just horrible wind. I hate this float fish in the wind. It's as black as you want over there. Can't believe it, guys. I'm on again to this howling wind. Suddenly turned everything on. Is that not bizarre? And I've got a custard cream there with my name on it. Bream are biting like this, I won't get a chance to eat it. They're on the bite, people, on the bite. There we go. Another nice bream. Can I look this up here? Well, the umbrella's gone sailing off, so I've had to put that down. I guess, folks, I've just got to hang on now. If you remember when I came, it was blowing this way across here. It's gone back in right round there, straight up, almost easterly now, east to northeast. So it's going to be windy in the mic. That's just the way it is. Can only shelter it so much. Come on, a few more bream before I call it quits. And then while that's down, that wind's down, I'll definitely come back and have a go. Missing bites, guys. Smith, you were supposed to be holding the camera for me. How do you expect me to film and fish at the same time? I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to have to come back because I want to do balanced crust on the bottom. I might do float legering as well. And then I've got to knock up some paste which is made with the bread as well. So I think we're going to have to come back and give it another go. Better conditions. But listen, I can see I'm getting... It's missed another one. It's both rods. Oh my God. I'm going to have to hang on for a little while and then and then come back. Pinch of bread, people. A pinch of bread. I have always told you about tin loaf. It's the first one I've actually used on camera, I think. Oh, that's just a swing of that one, guys. That's a nice roach, look. Big piece of flake, big piece. Sun's come out. And we're going to hold out. I just got to tighten up enough. If anything, it seems to be holding better with the wind blowing straight in, to be honest. A little bit of circular effect coming this way, so it's time to pull it a little bit left. Let's get the small piece of bread. Look, I'm catching all these fish. I've barely touched the inside of that loaf. Another bream on. Well, going well on the bream. If only this wind would back off and I'd stay a bit later. Up and down. It's just eased off a tad. Look, all those bream, and I've barely touched that centre of the tin loaf. So, I hate this wind. I hate wind boat fishing. I've just supposed to be going out to Wayne tomorrow. He's had to cancel. Going for giant stingrays up in the Solent, but apparently it's a long journey from where he is. So he said the wind's a bit too much, which I don't dispute. It's pretty windy here and I'm 50 miles from the sea. Just can't get the float to... You want the float just in the right place if you baited an area like this. Roach. Watch it go as soon as I put this zip in. I'm waiting. That's better. I just took it up again on the float. I imagine it's another bream. It's a nice one. I can remember when these were stocked in it. A lot smaller, so definitely putting on weight. And I'm watching the other float at the same time. Get this one from the seated position. I need to put him on the mat, this one. I don't want to get my bread wet. There we go. And a nice bream from Watmore. To be honest, it's the most bream I've ever caught in one session here. So it's a success on that bread. But I want to try and come back and show you the balanced crust, the paste baits and the other bits and pieces you can make with the tin loaf. Oh, I'm kind of surprised I haven't hit a carp yet, I've got to be honest. Especially this time, late afternoon. And if anything, it's a sort of a pleasure, you know, not to catch a carp. It makes a change not to catch a carp. I think possibly more fish coming on the small pellet and the smaller hook. I'll just show you. It's way too big, Graeme. Just that size, you see, it's like the size of my little fingernail. Fold it around. Just pinch it flat. Not for distance casting, and obviously once it's out, you can't move it a lot. In the swim, just move it slowly once to get in position. Exactly. Get in position and that's it. Sit and wait. Yeah, on the bream again. We know they're not the world's greatest fighters, but it's fish, smaller one this time. Oh, still, buddy, you go back. Go on. You've got a really big carp hook by the tail, guys. Just pulled off a big double figure fish hook by the tail. Got the hook back and everything. That was always going to be a one-way ticket. Slide that shot back. Maybe the carp are moving in now. I've got a carp hooked up, guys. He took me right in, round the side. Wowie. I'm trying to get him out. You see where he is? I'm trying to get. Spat all the ground bait out on the surface, I can see. Here he comes. I've got the wrong camera here, guys. I'm going to have to put the camera down and show him to you on the mat. This one might be a double. Oh, out goes the line. Gather he doesn't like the net. I think I'm due to get this one. Oh, I lost two others. Didn't lose this one though. Oh yeah. Yes please. There's a fish about 11, might go 11, he's certainly all of 10. There he goes. Oh. Now it's packing up time. It's very rainy over there, but pretty black looking. I think I'm going to call it quits because it's not great for filming. So I've done pretty good. I don't know what I've had. I chucked a couple of smaller bream back. 10 bream, 3 or 4 or 5 roach, lost 2 carp, got 1 carp, and I haven't really even started making a film yet with the bread. And the bread, look, That's half a loaf and I haven't started. I'll give it 5-10 minutes and I think I'm going to call it. When I say it, guys, I'm looking at a potential tornado over this way. I'm hoping to pack up quick and don't get caught in the rain, fingers crossed. It might just blow through, it might miss me, but you never know. It's pretty ominous. So the one thing we've got to do first is get this valuable item there in the freezer and extract from the fridge one of these guys. We'll see you when I get back out again. So, real good little session there, I'm quite pleased with that. It sort of surprised me, even though there's horrible wind and there's a big storm coming in tomorrow night. So I thought, let's get it sorted. So, here's my loaf of bread. I'm going to show you how to make up a paste bake. You've seen how good flake is. Just a pinch of flake, tiny pellets on a small hook for species like roach. A little bit bigger, the carp will have it, and of course, plenty of bream. I don't know what I had, about, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 bream. A couple of small ones, about a pound and a quarter, pound and a half I didn't film. So, I've still got my bread here. So, pull up a chair and we'll just run through some of this. Because what I want to do is make a paste bait and just go fishing. Don't want to do it there because the wind in the mic and all that. I thought I'd do it in the tackle shack. I haven't been in there for a while. As I said before, I want to retain, look, with this tin loaf crust. Obviously, I've eaten the other half, but it would have been like this big. So I want to retain that. The best of the bread, and I've frozen this and thawed it out again, is there, like that. Lovely, lovely flaky, a couple of bits of folded over, squeezed, job done. Just leave the point of the hook showing. So it's going to be crumbly, but you think, okay, we'll cut this crust off straight away. No, don't do that, because if I go along the edge here, and just saw off to the edge of the crust, just go down a little bit, because I want to fish with some of what's left of the flake as well. And we're going to try like a pop-up crust as well. What we used to call balanced crust years ago. I mean, this is in the 1960s. Many of you weren't possibly been born in the 1960s, but it was the way it was. Look, can you see what I've cut away there? That flap. Okay, so I've got enough bread there to make a paste bake from, but I've also, look, retained the crust. There. If I cut this out, hopefully you'll see that? I can even get, if I want to shave more off it, look, I can shave more of it, can't I? To make the paste bake. And I've retained my crust. And my, well, it's not my idea, it's just the way it's done is, anything like that, I keep those snipped up for, say, loose feed, wherever the loose feed is, they allow you to fish your bread off the top, and that will make 4 nice big, on a decent hook. Now, a tip here, crust fishy. If you've got, that's like 1/2 inch square, isn't it, that? Ideal size. In one side, out the other, and then pinch that little bit of dough around the hook. I think I've showed you many times before. Ideal. You can then dip it once, and you'll find this casts a lot better and will not soak up as quickly as the sliced bread crust does, because it's like a sort of much harder crust, if that makes sense. And of course you can flavour it, colour it, do what you like with it. But there you can see I can go all the way around there, can't I? And cut. In fact I will. Let's just cut into there. I'm getting what I want, and I've got crust as well. Plenty of crust. So you can see there, I've still got more than half my bread left. I'm going to then cut this out. You pull it out by hand, it doesn't make any difference at all, because all I'm going to do is mush it up. There we go. Messy job, just as well doing it here, wife wouldn't be pleased. It just saves, you know, wasting good good paste potential there, good potential paste baits around the edge. Look, I could just rip this out, couldn't I, and use that, but I'm not going to. I'm trying to save and get the most out of one tinned loaf I can. I mean, I've had half a tinned loaf and I've already caught all those bream, 2 carp and some roach. I reckon that should probably do me to make a paste bait. So this can go, yes, either in the fridge or the freezer, in the plastic bag I haste to add. Keep the air out of it. Get yourself a bait tin. Keep that crust, I should put that in as well. Bait tin, okay. In goes a bit of towel. You don't have to do it this way, you can mush it up however you want. Get a load of water in there so it's all nice and wet. And then you just put that. This is how I think they used muslin years ago. Muslin, you know, like the cottony sort of stuff. Now you can fold that over. You can give it a little while to soak, or you can just dip it up and down in the water. We used to put it like that so that it just didn't turn into all the water. You want to soak it, but you see what I'm doing? Just dunking it, otherwise it would be all over the place and I just ended up with bread soup, wouldn't I? Okay, that should be enough. You do this on the bank and I get my ball, my towel. See what I'm doing, squeezing it all out now. As much out as I can get. Okay, I could have done with a little bit bigger, but you know how tight I am. So I can then mush it up in here. All the time it's sucking that water up. It's got to make a paste bait, and that's soft. And that one, the hook point goes, you can bury it in the bait if you get the right consistency. Now, let's open it up, see what we've got. We've got a load of mushy bread, I know that, Graeme, obviously. It's a bit like anybody, I don't suppose they do it nowadays, but I've done plenty. Puttying in glass into window frames years ago. It's like putty, you're going to have to work it. See, now if I'd left that in the bait can, there we go. God, it's like a cookery program. Move that out of the way. Can put that down there. Right, there I've got the start of my paste bait. Now you can also mix some ground bait with this, should you so wish, and you want to make, depending whether you want to cast it a long way, make it a bit stiffer. But you've got to give it a good kneading like this. I just use mostly a thumb or push to get the lumps out. Keep changing hands, and of course I can put more water in the bait can and wash my hands, keep them wet, so that my hands like this are wet. Then you'll find it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick to your hands. There'll be a few of you out there must have used paste baits over the years. There's enough older guys that watch our show that I know for a fact will hopefully comment and say, yes, I've used paste bait. If you have, over the years, I say tell the young people, there's less and less young people coming into fishing, but tell other anglers, I'm going to say, if you want any tips you've got, if you're a paste bait fisherman, give those secrets away. Oh, here's the wife calling me now. Now, here's the secret, guys. What's this, you ask yourself? How about some salmon paste? 60 pence in the supermarket. Make yourself, just wet the knife so it doesn't stick. Yes, your fingers are going to smell of salmon paste. Get yourself a good old gob of salmon paste like this. Get it in there, Graeme. You can use what you want. You can use Marmite, Bovril. I wouldn't recommend jam, it probably makes it sweet, but now you're going to pummel this and pummel this and pummel this and mix it all up, and then you're going to put a little bit of ground bait in it so that there is a bit of dryness there. But this can be mixed and mixed and mixed. Just need to keep those hands wet. You see, look, it's no different to pastry, is it? Let's face it, really. Oh, it smells nice. Okay, I've got some Baileys here, a little bit of Baileys. I'm going to get a little hole in the middle of the dough. Oh, that wind's picking up. Sprinkle in a bit of ground bit and dust it round the outside. And then I can fold it back in like this, and I'll start mixing it all together. And that should bond it up. So bear with me, give me 5 minutes to mix this paste powder. Now you can put flour with it, sometimes it goes sticky, sometimes it doesn't. But I'll show you the consistency you want, because you want it to stay on the hook. You see my hands, I've damped them. I've gone from dry to damp, and now I've got that in a really, really good consistency. And all I do is I can pinch a piece off like this, a pellet of it. And that is paste bake made from, yes, this piece of bread. And I've still got literally all the crust to use. We're going to have a go making balanced crust out of something like that. And I've added, my flavour is salmon paste. There you go. There's only one thing to do, people, now, isn't there? And that is to get back out on that lake when the wind's gone down and show you guys a bit more fishing with bread. I could bake it on the old stove, I should. I'd end up eating it. And listen, final tip, wet towel, put it in the wet towel, just fold it up, that'll stop it drying out, and pop it either in a tackle box or the fridge if you go in the next day. That's what I'm going to be doing. Or you can freeze it. It will dehydrate and dry out a little bit, but not so much, because it'll be more the towel that sort of dries out. Well, I'm back at Watmore. The wind was going to drop, so they said no, it hasn't. It's the same. It's just a different direction, slightly on the side. So it's just the way it is. We're going to give it a go. I've rigged up one waggler float, and then I'm just going to fish. I'll show you in a second a link ledger, so I can fish a pop-up piece of crust, but with a little twist of difference. It's a piece of ground bait around the weight. I'll show you how short I'm going to be fishing it. There you can see this just come out the freezer last night, kept in the fridge. By keeping in that wet towel, look, it's a lovely paste, and I guess it does smell fishy. That's a salmon in there. I've got this stuff to I'm going to try pita bread. I don't believe I fish with pita bread, but I'll save that first. Let's get the crust out, and I can show you the pop-up crust, and we'll try a piece of paste bait on the float. Now, I'm only 2 swims along from where I fished before, and the depth is just, the disparity of depth is huge. It's more than double the depth from what I consider to be the same. So the bait I threw out just now might be a little bit farther out, so it just goes to show you, plumb the depth first, find the ledge or drop off, and then put your bait in, rather than just throw the bait in and assume they're there. I've learned, and that's 2 swims down it's changed. People that don't know, here at Watmore, it is very deep close in there. It's a deep lake, this one. So we'll try a tiny piece of this paste first, around a small hook's about 14, I think. Just squeeze it flat like that. There's my shot to hold it for the drift in case it's too windy. And that's where we're going to let it sit. Now the flow's sticking up like that because the shot down by the hook has yet to reach the bottom, and then it will go to settle down a bit more. Well guys, the wind is proving horrendous here. Anyway, I was just talking to Andy, just so you know, if you are into carp fishing, that they had a 30-pounder here last week. So it's not really a huge big fish water, but there are some big ones in here. I don't know whether I've had 120 out of here when I've been fishing for the carp. But so there you go, there's a 30 in there that they know of. And I think he was telling me somebody had a crucian about 3.5, 3.25, 3 pounds something. The other side of 3 pound, which is a very big crucian, isn't it? So maybe this water's going to turn into that sort of specimen crucian type water, I don't know. So here's what I'm rigging up for my little link ledger, I'm calling it, on the inside, well, on the edge of the float there, with pop-up crust. As I mentioned earlier, keep that bread in the cool. Now there's the edge of the crust. You remember I cut it all up, used it into the paste, made the paste bait. Come on people, you'll be getting questions on this when we're finished. I'll cut them into squares like I showed you, about that size. I'll show you the floats out. They're sure to get a bite, guys. You know what it's like. Smith, watch that float for me. Do your homework later. Right, this is how I've rigged up. So it's a sliding link ledger, which sort of, I'm going to say, old school barbel fishing. There's the hook. There's the sliding link ledger. See, it goes up and down, and it's on a link. Now you can have a short drop, or you can have a long drop, or you can put the shot right underneath. Hold it like that. Right underneath the swivel there. I've left a little gap of about half an inch there. Jesus Christ. Look, let me just show you something. I knew I'd get a bite looking away messing around. On here is the proof of the pudding. That was not a small fish. That is a carp's scale. There. If that was a cushion carp scale, it was about 9 pounds. I'm calling that a carp scale. So I've lost a fish on this paste bait already. Fingers crossed I get to show you a couple. See, it's soft. It's come out the freezer. I've thawed it out. I can take that home. I can freeze it again, use it again and again, as long as you kept it chilled and in that piece of toweling. Well, it's nice to have a bite, isn't it? Even if I miss it. Nice if I could cast properly as well. I'm hoping this wind will go down tonight. Right, I'll show you again. So rudely interrupted, some of these fish. So there's my little rig, but look how close it is to the shot. So this crust will just pop up like you would do a floating bait. As it gets soaked, it's going to lay down lower, and oh my, I leave the float in, it's just madness. It will just go from that stop shot there to there. So I've got my square of crust. I want to start fishing now. In it goes, in one side, turn it, out the other, okay. Bend it around the hook a little bit. You can give it a little pinch there, but I've got casting weight, haven't I? But here's the kicker, as they say. Here's Graeme's secret. Think of the very famous method feeder. That's right, I'm going to mould my ground bait ball around just there. Can you see that? Look, like that. This will sit on the bottom. The little fish will be nibble around. They'll be knocking this all over the place, and along comes, I would think, Mr. Carp. So let's just flick it out there. Down it goes, down it goes into the depths of Watmore. Check the drag, Graeme. There's every likelihood the rod will go off. Now, I've got the rod rings. Make sure my back winds. I've got one of the rod rings just resting on the top of the edge of the stage in there. I've got several different bobbins here. I've got some with Play-Doh, what we call plasticine, in there for a bit of extra weight, and I've got the plain empty ones. We'll try a plain empty one first. I just put this on there. There is no buzzers. Okay, then I just come back and I tighten up with the spool just there, and then I can go back float fishing. So somebody also needs to watch the bobbin because I haven't got a buzzer on it. Let's put it, oh Jesus Christ, I'm trying to put the shot on here, guys, and the rod's taken off. Never mind about the bobbin moving. The rod's taken off. Oh my God. Does balanced crust work? We'll find out if we can get this fish in. That was just like 60 seconds. I'm trying to pinch a shot on for the float. You want deadly methods that are basic, trust me. I know a few deadly methods that are basic. That's basic, that one, isn't it? That's washing up top, bottle drilled out. Well, you didn't need to see that move. It was a rod coming off the barrow and across the deck in there. Now, just as a tip for guys, I know a lot of people don't do river fishing, but that method of putting a ball of ground bait around the lead shot is really good for big fish like barbel and chub. And of course, every time you hook a fish, that ground bait ball breaks up and puts it in the right spot, so it keeps them feeding there and they're almost looking for it. I'm going to get out for this one. There he is. Balanced crust, eh? My God. My God. The old method still works. I hope this old rod can take this pressure. He's peeling me out. So, if I get this in, you can see the balanced crust works. Legered on the bottom. You might want to put a buzzer on and make sure you're watching the rods, because it is a deadly method. He's in. It's a mirror. Goodness me. That was barely 60 seconds, people. The wonder of Watmore. There we go, it's about 8 pounds, and the broken net needs gluing again down there. Wow. Gone. So another broken thing for Graeme to mend when we get home. I'll tell you, if they move in on me, I'm actually going to have to watch this rod, because that popped up crust is deadly. There's my hook. I go through the white side, pull it through, stretch it a little bit, you know, on the shank, bury it, bring the shot back down here, get myself a ball of ground bait, not big, less than a golf ball size, mould it around the 2 shot. As you can see, look, it's still sliding up and down, it's gone through the float rod. There we go, that's what it looks like. That's probably, I can ease it back, you see, before I drop it. Let it go down, just check that drag again. I just had a hit on the way down. Slowly, just tighten up on it. I'm going to go on back wind here, guys, just in case. I've had these rods like 50 years, so I can feel that something's going to happen. On goes the washing up bottle. Like that. It goes down on the bottom. And then I just turn the spool until it comes up. There. Alright, see if we can get this float rod out. Small pellet of dough paste, ball, call it what you like. Oh, right on it. Just pellets, tiny pellets that will break up. And then sit back and await events. Another tip, if you scoop all this out, you can actually mush that up on its own and make your own ground bait that sinks. And we do that for river fishing for chub. It's very, very good, this flake, for chub. It's a bit like the number 49 bus here, you know. I feel there's another one coming along at any moment. So we now need to catch something on the paste bait, and of course we've proved it works on a pop-up, you know, the balanced crust. What's called a pop-up really is just a spin-off of like 50-60 years ago, which we called balanced crust, which is the same thing. It would just come off the bottom a little bit. So really sort of nothing's new really in the carpy-warpy world. It's pretty much the same sort of thing. And you could look at it, that ball of ground bait, it's almost like a bolt rig, except I've got a running line going through it. It's not got any backstop or anything like that. And the little fish obviously will nibble around that ball of ground bait, and that activity draws the carp in, bream, tench, bigger fish as well. We got movement. Movement on the bobbin. Now if I get too many bites like that, chaos happens. If I get too many bites, it might mean that they've had the bait off, because it goes soft in the water, doesn't it? But at the moment, it's balanced crust, out of control. So you can see the difference that it makes, just having that crust. Is that a bite? Float's gone. That was a bite. I think that was actually, I saw the rod move before the float even moved. What is this? Get that one out of the way, guys. There's a float, so it can't be a biggish fish, can it? Smaller carp. Well, he's going well, whatever it is, but I feel, yeah, that's going to be a carp. Got to be a carp. So this will prove the paste bait works. You will get a bit gunky. Look at my fingernails. You're going to get a bit gunky even bread, but guys, I'm going to click this off until I get the fish in. Let's put a little bit more ground bait out there. Go for a mini pellet of paste bait. Like to get a roach on it. Hopefully this wind eases a bit for the afternoon, that last hour. That's a better cast. Nice roach, bream or tench would be nice on the float. So of course what I could do is I could try that paste bait or dough bait on the bottom with a ball of ground bait next to it on the link ledger. So you can mix and match. You want the size of bread flake, big, small, big hook, small hook, ledger on the bottom, whatever. So versatile, bread. Bites on the bobbin, guys. I'm going to tighten that one. Tighten that one right up. Look at this wind. It's dropping, they said. I'm lucky actually, I've got all this screen here. And I've got the old brolly behind me, the 50-year-old plus brolly, Sunday Express award there. Anybody remember those? Used to get a weekly award from the fishing in the fishing section of the Sunday Express. I'm assuming because of that stage or that era, there was allegedly something like 3 million anglers. Now it's, I don't know, it's certainly not 3 million, is it? Oh. So bear in mind you can also roll this up. This is the dough I've got here, salmon flavoured dough. You can roll that, look, just sit there while you do. I used to do this when I was in my furniture shop. I was about 18. Sit there in between customers, not doing work, but just rolling up pellets of trout pellet paste. In fact, if you look, if anybody wants to go back, I think it was the very first totally awesome film I did. It was in the back garden, scalding trout pellets, moulding them up into paste baits, rolling them up and using them. And that's just what I'm doing now, just sit there rolling them up, so there's plenty of loose samples going in at the same size as you're using on the hook. I have to say, although I made this myself, this is an absolutely first class consistency. Very, very pleased with it. But I don't use all this, and I don't think I will. I'm going to freeze that again. The other benefit of using paste baits is you don't get pestered. If you've got tiny little baby perch in there, if you're using maggots and especially worms, worms being a good bait, unfortunately the small perch will pop those down the hatch as well, and they can be really annoying. Everyone's deep hooked, it's eating up your fishing time as well. So bread flakes are a good way to go to get away from small perch. Change the float one over, which is blowing all over the place, and because now changed over, we know in about an hour the wind will drop. And anyway, going to put the paste bait on the bottom this time with a link ledger. There's the ground bait, and because it's not popped up, it's going to be laying on the bottom. I've got it about a foot away from the actual weight and the ball, so we're going to drop that out. I'll shorten that up a bit more as well. Oh, he's come off. Don't use balance, but he's come off, and don't use balance crust. You can't get the second rod out. Going to be using a different bobbin. Really try and clip it on and off quickly and put it. Just got to unclip it when a fish takes. This one here, which is, I think it's for putting plants. Either that for dollies or something like that. Here, like a hair grip, and that goes on the line. Just there. I've got two like that, and now if anything goes up, they're very, very light. There. They should go a nice smooth draw up, or it could be even with crash tape. Just makes it a little bit easier, a little bit more relaxing for me to sit. There we go. And look at two bobbins. You're still on that right hand side, so it's popped up crust on the right, balanced crust as it were on the right, and salmon paste dough bread tin loaf on the left. Because these bobbins are so light, you generally get a real positive pull up. And of course you can fish paste on one, balanced crust on the other, pair of balanced crust, pair of paste baits, a pair of flake, just pinch regular flake round it. I've only just made the paste bait to show you what else you can make with that one tinned loaf, of which I've still got a quarter of a loaf or a third of a loaf left. Balanced crust is off again. I'm guessing a carp. Oh dear, pull some line off. No, not now. In. Oh, that's a better one. Well, it's carnage on the paste and the balanced crust, guys. Sort of 50-50 between the two at the moment. No bream, no tench, no roach. but the carp definitely on the bite. And I've got twin rods now, obviously just running ledgers and bobbins on both. Oh, this might be a decent fish. It looks heavy. Fair old bend in the rod. Click off and wait till I get it in the net or on the mat. Oh, it's quite a nice fish actually. Oh, it's pinged off. That was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one.
That was a shine, Graeme.
Yeah, just pulled off. Look, hooks there. I've had a couple like that, slid my shot
Didn't
down.
want to disturb you.
Yeah. That was a balanced crust on that one. I just shake them down and tension them up again like that. Yeah, it's still there. Still on both. Could be roach, you don't know. Oh, let's get in there. Let's get in there, grabbing time. Eventually if I switch the cam. We're off. I've got to say if I switch the camera off, we'll get a take. Well, that last fish, Andy was watching me play it. That was a good fish, real good fish. It's a lot smaller, this one. Right. I understand. Oh my God, it's a tench. Got him. Lovely jubbly. Well, that's a turn up. That's a turn up for the book, guys. Tench on paste bait. Well, not a surprise to me, don't get me wrong. That's what I used to fish for them for. And there he is, lovely jubbly. I do like tench fish. I haven't done much of it this year. There he goes. Not a big fish, we all know. Yeah, we know he's not a big fish, but it's nice to catch. It's still typical English lake species, isn't it? That's what it's about at the end of the day. Nice English fish. Well, the tench obviously like the old dough and salmon paste. Brilliant. Oh guys, I'm on like my 10th carp. It's just carp carnage, I'm calling this. Carp carnage. Just that one tench, that's the only different species. No roach, no bream. Carp all the way. Alright, I'm going to show you this one if I do get him in, and I think we're going to call it quits. I've got to be honest, I barely keep 2 rods on the go. It's a pretty well a 1 rod deal at the moment. Oh, he's going for the side. Oh, yeah. He got me in the snag, I think, just pinged off. Man, I've had some fish ping off the last couple of trips here. So, I think we're done. We have the rods in there anyway. Beautiful evening it's turning into. Look at it up there. Wind's still there, you can see it rippling across, but my goodness me, they're on the bite up big time. Right, I just have one more cast. I think I've more than proved my point. I've got most of the tin loaf there. I haven't even used half of that paste bait I mixed up. That I'm going to pop that back in the freezer in case I want to go barbel fishing or chub fishing.